Welcome back to Ringside Revolution. Today we are doing a list of 10 of the most intense and memorable rivalries in WWE history. At number 10, Daniel Bryan vs. The Authority. Bryan's underdog journey to the top of WWE was fraught with obstacles, including battles against the Authority, led by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. The rivalry between Daniel Bryan and the Authority was a central storyline in WWE that unfolded over several years, captivating audiences with its themes of perseverance, injustice, and triumph against all odds. The storyline began in mid-2013 when Daniel Bryan's popularity surged to unprecedented levels among fans. Despite his immense talent and overwhelming fan support, Bryan found himself repeatedly overlooked by WWE management, particularly by Triple H, who had transitioned into a corporate role as Goo, and his wife Stephanie McMahon, the principal owner of WWE. The duo, known collectively as the Authority, portrayed themselves as the gatekeepers of WWE, making decisions regarding championships, matchups, and overall direction. As Bryan's momentum continued to grow, the Authority actively worked against him, stacking the odds in favor of other superstars they deemed more suitable for the top spot in WWE. This led to numerous instances where Bryan was unfairly treated, denied championship opportunities, and subjected to physical and psychological torment at the hands of the Authority and their allies. One of the most pivotal moments in the rivalry came at SummerSlam 2013 when Bryan faced John Cena for the WWE Championship. With Triple H as the special guest referee, Bryan appeared poised to claim the title, only for a shocking turn of events to occur. Triple H delivered a pedigree to Bryan, allowing Randy Orton to cash in his Money in the Bank contract and become WWE Champion, effectively aligning himself with the Authority. This betrayal fueled Bryan's determination to overcome the Authority's oppression. Week after week, Bryan fought against the odds, battling rival superstars handpicked by Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. His resilience and fighting spirit endeared him even more to the WWE Universe, with chants of "Yes" echoing throughout arenas worldwide in solidarity with Bryan's struggle. The culmination of Bryan's journey came at WrestleMania XXX in 2014. Despite the Authority's attempts to thwart him, Bryan earned his place in the main event by winning a grueling match earlier in the night. In the championship match, Bryan triumphed over Triple H in a singles bout, earning himself a spot in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match later that same evening. In a moment of ultimate triumph, Bryan defeated Randy Orton and Batista to capture the championship, solidifying his status as the ultimate underdog hero and overcoming the Authority's tyranny. The Daniel Bryan vs. The Authority storyline remains one of the most compelling and emotionally charged narratives in WWE history, showcasing the power of perseverance and the ability of one man to overcome insurmountable odds on the grandest stage of them all. Number 9, The Hardy Boys vs. Edge and Christian vs. The Dudley Boys. These three teams revolutionized tag team wrestling in the early 2000s, engaging in a series of high-stakes and high-flying battles. The Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys ignited a revolution in tag team wrestling during the late 1990s and early 2000s. Each team brought a distinct style to the ring. The Hardy Boys with their daredevil acrobatics, Edge and Christian with their cunning strategies, and the Dudley Boys with their rapport. Their rivalry reached its apex during the Attitude Era of WWE, captivating audiences with their high-stakes matches and captivating storylines. The first ever tables, ladders, and chairs TLC match at WrestleMania 2000 stands as a testament to their impact, showcasing their willingness to push the boundaries of what was possible in a tag team bout. Beyond their athleticism, what truly set these teams apart was their ability to tell compelling stories in the ring. Whether it was the Hardy Boys overcoming the odds as underdogs, Edge and Christian resorting to underhanded tactics to secure victory, or the Dudley Boys unleashing their signature brand of chaos, each match was filled with drama and excitement. Their feud not only elevated the status of tag team wrestling but also left an enduring legacy that continues to influence the industry today. The Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys showed the world what tag team wrestling could be, inspiring future generations of wrestlers to strive for greatness in the squared circle. In doing so, they cemented their place in WWE history as three of the greatest tag teams of all time. Number 8, Edge vs. John Cena. This rivalry was fueled by personal animosity and intense competition, resulting in some of the most dramatic matches of the Ruthless Aggression era. During the Ruthless Aggression era, the rivalry between Edge and John Cena captivated WWE audiences with its intensity and drama. It all began with Edge's shocking cash-in of the Money in the Bank contract featuring brutal encounters in innovative stipulations such as tables, ladders, and chairs TLC, and last man standing matches. Each bout was a showcase of their incredible athleticism, resilience, and determination to emerge victorious at any cost. What made this rivalry truly special was the depth of emotion and storytelling woven into every confrontation. Whether it was Edge's cunning mind games or Cena's unwavering fighting spirit, each encounter kept fans on the edge of their seats, eagerly anticipating the next twist in the tale. Outside interference often played a significant role, adding layers of complexity to their battles and leaving fans guessing until the final bell rang. Yet, amidst the chaos and controversy, Edge and Cena consistently delivered some of the most memorable moments in WWE history. Their rivalry reached its zenith during championship clashes, where the stakes were highest and the animosity between them reached a fever pitch. These matches not only showcased their in-ring prowess but also solidified their legacies as two of the greatest superstars to ever step foot in the WWE ring. In the end, the Edge vs. John Cena rivalry was more than just a series of matches. It was a defining chapter in WWE history. It showcased the best of what professional wrestling has to offer. Compelling storytelling, incredible athleticism, and an undeniable passion for the sport. And while their battles may have ended, the legacy of their rivalry continues to live on in the hearts and minds of WWE fans around the world. Number 7. Triple H vs. The Rock. These two future WWE Hall of Famers engaged in a series of brutal matches, each striving to establish dominance during the Attitude Era. During the Attitude Era, the rivalry between Triple H and The Rock captivated WWE audiences with its intensity and drama. Both destined for the WWE Hall of Fame, their clashes epitomized the era's raw energy and cutthroat competition. Their rivalry traces back to the late 1990s when both superstars were rising through the ranks of WWE. Triple H, representing Degeneration X, and The Rock, the electrifying People's Champion, quickly emerged as two of the biggest stars in professional wrestling. What ensued was a series of epic battles, each match serving as a clash of egos and a quest for supremacy. Their encounters were not just about championships but also about pride, as both men fought tooth and nail to prove themselves as the undisputed alpha of the Attitude Era. Their matches were marked by brutality and innovation, with each superstar pushing the other to the limit. From no disqualification brawls to high-stakes championship bouts, Triple H and The Rock left no stone unturned in their quest for dominance. What made their rivalry so compelling was not just their in-ring abilities but also their larger-than-life personas. Triple H, the cerebral assassin, relied on cunning and strategy to gain the upper hand, while The Rock, with his charisma and electrifying presence, captivated audiences worldwide. Their battles were not confined to the ring, as their rivalry spilled over into backstage segments and heated promos. Whether it was trading verbal jabs on the microphone or engaging in all-out brawls, Triple H and The Rock always delivered unforgettable moments. Their rivalry reached its zenith at WrestleMania, where they clashed in epic encounters that are still talked about to this day. These matches defined an era and solidified both superstars' legacies as icons of sports entertainment. In the end, the rivalry between Triple H and The Rock wasn't just about wins and losses, it was about legacy. It was about two titans of the industry pushing each other to greatness and leaving an indelible mark on WWE history. And while their battles may have ended, the memories of their epic encounters will live on forever in the annals of professional wrestling. Number 6. John Cena vs. Randy Orton. These two modern-day legends had a long-standing rivalry that spanned over a decade, featuring countless championship battles and personal animosity. The rivalry between John Cena and Randy Orton is one of the most enduring and iconic in WWE history. Spanning over a decade, their feud captivated audiences with its intensity, personal animosity, and series of epic championship battles. Their rivalry began in the mid-2000s when both Cena and Orton were emerging as top stars in WWE. Despite their different backgrounds and wrestling styles, they quickly found themselves on a collision course for greatness. What followed was a series of epic encounters, each match serving as a showcase of their incredible athleticism, in-ring prowess, and determination to outdo one another. Whether it was for the WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship, or other prestigious titles, Cena and Orton consistently delivered high-stakes matches that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Their rivalry was fueled not only by their desire for championship gold but also by personal animosity and a clash of personalities. Cena, the embodiment of hustle, loyalty, and respect, stood as a symbol of the WWE Universe's values, while Orton, with his cunning and ruthlessness, represented a more rebellious and unpredictable force. Their battles were not confined to the ring, as their feud spilled over into backstage confrontations, heated promos, and unforgettable moments on WWE programming. From brutal stipulation matches to dramatic title changes, Cena vs. Orton was a rivalry that transcended the boundaries of sports entertainment. What made their feud truly special was its longevity. Unlike many other rivalries that come and go, Cena and Orton's rivalry endured for over a decade, evolving and adapting to the ever-changing landscape of WWE. Their rivalry reached its zenith at WrestleMania XXVII in 2012, where they clashed in a highly anticipated match for the WWE Championship. The bout was a culmination of years of animosity and competition, and it remains one of the most memorable moments in WrestleMania history. In the end, Cena vs. Orton wasn't just a rivalry, it was a defining chapter in WWE history. It showcased two modern-day legends at the peak of their powers, pushing each other to greatness and leaving an indelible mark on the industry. And while their battles may have come to an end, the legacy of Cena vs. Orton will forever be etched in the hearts and minds of WWE fans around the world. Number 5. The Undertaker vs. Kane. The storyline of the brothers' tumultuous relationship captivated audiences for years, leading to numerous dramatic confrontations inside the ring. The rivalry between The Undertaker and Kane is one of the most iconic and enduring storylines in WWE history. Born from a narrative of family turmoil and betrayal, their tumultuous relationship captivated audiences for years, resulting in some of the most dramatic confrontations ever witnessed inside the squared circle. The storyline of The Undertaker and Kane as brothers began in the mid-1990s when Kane made his shocking debut at Bad Blood in Your House in 1997. Revealed as The Undertaker's long-lost brother, Kane's arrival sent shockwaves through the WWE universe. This revelation laid the foundation for a complex and emotionally charged rivalry that would define both superstars' legacies. What made their feud so compelling was its deeply personal nature. The Undertaker, as the older brother, had long been established as a dominant force in WWE, revered and feared by all who crossed his path. Kane, on the other hand, emerged as a vengeful and destructive force, driven by a desire to seek retribution for the perceived injustices inflicted upon him in the past. Their battles inside the ring were nothing short of legendary, with each match serving as a showcase of their supernatural abilities and unyielding determination. From bone-chilling encounters at WrestleMania to brutal clashes inside Hell in a Cell and Inferno matches, The Undertaker and Kane pushed each other to the limits of physical and psychological endurance. Beyond their in-ring encounters, their storyline delved into themes of betrayal, redemption, and familial bonds. The Undertaker's struggle to come to terms with his past actions and his complicated relationship with Kane added layers of depth to their feud, resonating with fans on a deeply emotional level. Their rivalry spanned over 2 decades, evolving and adapting to the changing landscape of WWE. Whether they were teaming up as the Brothers of Destruction or facing off as bitter enemies, The Undertaker and Kane remained intrinsically linked, their destinies intertwined in a tale of darkness and redemption. In the end, The Undertaker vs. Kane wasn't just a rivalry, it was a saga. It was a story of two brothers bound by blood, torn apart by betrayal, and ultimately united by a bond that transcended the boundaries of wrestling. And while their battles may have come to an end, the legacy of The Undertaker and Kane will forever be etched in the annals of WWE history, remembered as one of the greatest rivalries of all time. Number 4. Shawn Michaels vs. Bret Hart. The rivalry between these two legendary performers culminated in the infamous Montreal Screwjob, forever changing the landscape of WWE. The rivalry between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart stands as one of the most storied and controversial feuds in WWE history. Beginning in the early 1990s and culminating in the infamous Montreal Screwjob, the rivalry forever changed the landscape of professional wrestling. Shawn Michaels, known as the Heartbreak Kid, and Bret Hart, famously dubbed the Hitman, were two of the biggest stars in WWE during the 1990s. Their rivalry was not only defined by their contrasting in-ring styles but also by their personalities and philosophies towards wrestling. Their feud reached its zenith at the 1997 Survivor Series event in Montreal, Canada. Bret Hart, then the reigning WWE champion, was set to face Shawn Michaels in a highly anticipated championship match. However, behind the scenes, tensions were running high due to contract negotiations and real-life animosity between Hart and WWE management, particularly Vince McMahon. As the match unfolded, chaos ensued. In what would become known as the Montreal Screwjob, Vince McMahon's submission, and the title changed hands amidst confusion and outrage. The aftermath of the Montreal Screwjob sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling world. Bret Hart spat in Vince McMahon's face and famously punched him backstage, leading to Hart's departure from WWE and a bitter rift between the two parties that lasted for years. The fallout from the Montreal Screwjob had far-reaching implications for WWE. It marked the beginning of the Mr. McMahon character and the rise of the Attitude Era, characterized by edgier storylines and a shift towards more reality-based storytelling. Additionally, it forever altered the relationship between wrestlers and management, highlighting the power dynamics and backstage politics inherent in the industry. Despite the controversy surrounding their rivalry, the feud between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart remains one of the most compelling and talked about in wrestling history. It showcased the blurred lines between fiction and reality in professional wrestling and left an indelible mark on WWE's legacy, forever changing the way fans perceive and understand the business. Number 3, Hulk Hogan vs. Randy Savage. This rivalry in the 1980s and 1990s saw two larger-than-life personalities collide, creating some of the most iconic moments in WWE history. The rivalry between Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage is one of the most iconic and enduring feuds in WWE history. Spanning the 1980s and 1990s, it showcased two larger-than-life personalities colliding in a battle for supremacy, creating some of the most memorable moments in professional wrestling. Hulk Hogan, the face of WWE during the 1980s, represented the embodiment of American heroism and strength. Randy Savage, on the other hand, was the charismatic and unpredictable Macho Man, known for his flamboyant style and intense in-ring persona. Their clash was not just a rivalry between two wrestlers but a collision of ideologies and personalities. Their feud began to simmer in the mid-1980s when Randy Savage, then the Intercontinental Champion, became increasingly paranoid about Hogan's popularity and perceived threat to his own status. This jealousy and rivalry came to a head at WrestleMania IV in 1988 when Savage accused Hogan of interfering in his championship match, leading to a heated confrontation between the two. The rivalry escalated throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, culminating in a series of high-profile matches and unforgettable moments. One of the most iconic moments came at WrestleMania V in 1989 when Hogan defeated Savage to win the WWE Championship in a match dubbed the Mega Powers Explode, referring to their tag team partnership that had imploded due to jealousy and distrust. Their feud continued to simmer over the years, with both men trading victories and engaging in intense battles for supremacy. Savage's Macho King persona and Hogan's status as the face of WWE added layers of drama and intrigue to their rivalry, captivating audiences around the world. Despite their on-screen animosity, Hogan and Savage shared a deep mutual respect for each other as performers and as competitors. Their matches were not just about championships but about legacy and pride, as both men fought tooth and nail to prove themselves as the top star in WWE. In the end, the rivalry between Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage remains etched in the annals of WWE history as one of the greatest feuds of all time. It showcased the best of what professional wrestling has to offer. Larger-than-life characters, intense rivalries, and unforgettable moments that will be remembered by fans for generations to come. Number 2, The Rock vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Two of WWE's biggest stars clashed in epic encounters, each vying for the title of the top guy in the company. The rising personalities and wrestling styles The Rock, with his electrifying charisma and Hollywood lineage, represented the brashness and swagger of the Attitude Era. Stone Cold Steve Austin, on the other hand, embodied rebellion and anti-authoritarianism, captivating audiences with his rebellious attitude and no-nonsense approach to wrestling. Their paths first crossed in the late 1990s as both superstars ascended to the pinnacle of WWE success. The Rock and Austin quickly became the faces of the company, with their rivalry heating up as they battled for championships and the adoration of the WWE Universe. What followed was a series of epic encounters that captivated audiences around the world. From WrestleMania showdowns to brutal matches in steel cages and beyond, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin pushed each other to the limit in their quest for dominance. One of the defining moments of their rivalry came at WrestleMania X7 in 2001. In a match billed as The Rock vs. Stone Cold for the WWE Championship, the two superstars put on a classic bout that is still revered by fans as one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. In a shocking turn of events, Austin aligned himself with his longtime rival, Vince McMahon, to secure victory and capture the WWE Championship. Their rivalry extended beyond the confines of the ring, as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin engaged in memorable verbal justs and backstage confrontations. Their chemistry and mutual respect as performers added an extra layer of intensity to their feud, making every encounter must-see television for fans. In the end, the rivalry between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin helped define an era and elevate WWE to unprecedented heights of popularity. Their battles transcended the world of professional wrestling, becoming cultural phenomena that left an indelible mark on pop culture. And while their in-ring rivalry may have come to an end, the legacy of The Rock vs. Stone Cold Steve Austin continues to live on in the hearts and minds of WWE fans everywhere. Number 1. Stone Cold Steve Austin vs. Vince McMahon. This rivalry defined the Attitude Era, with Austin. The rivalry between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon is arguably one of the most defining and iconic feuds in WWE history. It epitomized the rebellious spirit of the Attitude Era and played a pivotal role in WWE's rise to unprecedented levels of popularity during the late 1990s and early 2000s. At its core, the rivalry between Austin and McMahon was a clash of ideologies. Stone Cold Steve Austin, with his anti-authoritarian persona and disdain for corporate authority, represented the working-class hero who rebelled against the establishment. On the other hand, Vince McMahon, the brash and outspoken chairman of WWE, personified authority and control, determined to maintain order and dominance in his company. Their feud began to simmer in the mid-1990s, but it reached its boiling point in 1997 when Austin famously delivered his Austin 316 promo after winning the King of the Ring tournament. This watershed moment catapulted Austin to superstardom and ignited his bitter rivalry with McMahon. What followed was a series of unforgettable moments that captivated audiences around the world. From Stone Cold's defiant antics, including beer bashes and stunner assaults on McMahon, to McMahon's attempts to thwart Austin's rise to the top, the rivalry between the two became the driving force behind WWE's television programming during the Attitude Era. Their feud reached its zenith at WrestleMania XIV in 1998. In the main event, Stone Cold and setting the stage for his ongoing battles with McMahon. The rivalry between Austin and McMahon continued to escalate in the years that followed, with McMahon resorting to increasingly desperate and devious tactics to undermine Austin's reign as champion. From manipulating matches to aligning himself with other superstars to take down Austin, McMahon became Austin's most persistent and hated adversary. Their feud culminated in numerous memorable moments, including the Corporate Rumble and the legendary beer truck segment where Austin doused McMahon and his associates with beer. Each confrontation between the two was filled with drama, intensity, and a palpable sense of anticipation, captivating fans and driving WWE to unprecedented levels of success. In the end, the rivalry between Stone Wrestling and solidified both men as legends in the industry. And while their battles may have ended, the legacy of Austin vs. McMahon continues to resonate with fans as one of the greatest rivalries of all time. Thank you for watching, guys. Until then.